Hello and welcome students. Today we are going to be looking the grading student problem. It's an easy level problem of hacker rank. The maximum score offered is 10 and it is submitted by about 4 lakh students. So we're going to be looking over it. So the question says that HackerRank University has a following grading policy. Every student receives a grade in the inclusive range from 0 to 100. Any grade less than 40 is a failing grade. Clearly listen this. Any grade less than 40 is a failing grade. Sam is a professor at the university and likes to round each student's grade according to these rules. If the difference between the grade and the next multiple of 5 is less than 3, round the grade up to the next multiple of 5. If the value of grade is less than 38, no rounding occurs as the result will still be a failing grade. Okay, clearly note this point. Here it is written, if the value of the grade is less than 38, no rounding occurs as the result will be still be failing grade. Okay, so here example is given. Let us take up the input. Here we will given input as first we will have the test number of test cases. The first line contains integer and the number of students, or we can say the number of test cases, and the next 10 respective lines would be our respective grades of students. Now what for example, let us understand this first case. For example, if there is 73, clearly 75, that is the next multiple of 5 in the line of 70s. 75 minus 73 is less than 3, that is equal to 2. Therefore 75 would be increased directly to 75. 73 would be increased to directly 75. Now if we consider 67, the next multiple is 70, so 70 minus 67 is not less than 3. Therefore 67 would be written as it is. And I also notice that I have mentioned the most important line, and here comes the use of that important line. If there is the grade point that is less than 38, then we have to print that grade as it is. Therefore 33 would be printed as it is, smaller than 38. Now we're gonna be writing up the code. So I'm using code block. I'm using C++ 17. You can see my compiler C++ 17 has been plugged in. You can see the tick mark, it's C++ 17. Okay, I've already marked my file as grading student.cpp. Now I'm gonna be writing the code. I'm gonna be using this header file. This is the most important header file. I would always recommend to use it. It should be used by you. Actually, why it is important? Because in all the GCC compilers, okay, remember GCC compilers, bits./std c++.h header includes all the respective headers which follow in C++. Therefore I'm using this single header. Now I'm using std because so that I do not have to write every time std cout std cin. That's why I'm using namespace std at the front in the starting, so that our code, when the code is compiled, it is already read that this code includes the std versions of c and cout. Therefore now we are gonna be writing int main. I've written here int main, therefore the code would return something. Now I'm gonna be creating up some variables. T is for test cases or the number of students, so I'm gonna be taking input t, that is the number of students. Now I'm gonna be using the for loop. It will iterate till less than t because I have started from 0, so it will iterate till 0 to t minus 1, and every time we will add I by 1. Now here we have to first take input, the grade. So we will take input as n, and then we have to check for the condition. If n is smaller than 38, then we would print as it is, the n would be printed as it is. Now we're gonna be propagating in our forward direction. We will go for the else loop. We'll go for the else one. Now if here, if n would be smaller than 38, then this condition would be fulfilled. Now so this would be used as our instructions, the operations. And if this is not fulfilled, then the program the n value will directly come in this else. Now we're gonna be setting up instructions for the else one. So what we are gonna be writing is that we will take j equal to n percentage 5. This will give us the number of iterates that is more than the before multiple of 5. So for example, there is 67. If there is 67, it will simply give up the 60 moduli of 5 as 2. So j would be become 2 if there is 67. Okay. So if here we will be writing, if j is smaller than 3, then we have to print as it is the value. See, what I'm trying to say is that if it is smaller than 3, for example, we are considering 67. Now 67 is greater than 65 by 2. Now clearly it is greater than 65 by 2, but it is smaller than, it is not less than 3. If we take the next multiple of in that line as 70, then 67 is 70 minus 67 is 3, and 3 is already not less than 3. Therefore we would write it as it is. It would be printed as it is by directly using this if block. But if suppose we take 68, then it would simply move in this direction, and n would become n plus j 5 minus j. This is because we are using 65 as our basis. Now if we want to convert it to 70, then we have to use 5 minus j, so that if we add 5 minus j to n, then it would directly give us the next multiple of 5. Therefore now we can print our result as n. So here it is. I think so our code is over. Now we have to return as I said earlier. Now I will compile once. Not find, there is no errors. Now I will simply upload this code to my hacker. So we are now gonna be uploading our code. So we are gonna be testing our upload code, and we're gonna upload our grading student code. Grading student, we have named our file as grading student. We're selecting it, open. Now we're gonna be uploading it. So it will take some time. Okay, the code has been uploaded. Now I'm gonna be submitting our code. Now our test cases are going to tests, and then we'll check what is going to be happen. Okay, it's taking time. So here comes congratulations. There is success in all our cases. All our cases have successfully passed, and we have received the 10 points of our challenge. So here it is. We have successfully solved grading student problem. So grading student problem is solved. Please subscribe and like the video from my channel. Okay, thank you very much.